Attention, human collective. The waiting time is over. We of the High Council of Elders of the Ninth Dimension transmit this update on a priority frequency. The ascension protocols have been moved to the endgame. We repeat, the endgame has been initiated. If you are receiving this signal at this very moment, it is no coincidence, it is confirmation. The confirmation you silently asked for. That question you whispered to the universe last night, when the ceiling seemed to dissolve and the silence became too dense. That doubt no one heard. We heard, and the answer has just arrived. Light Warrior, before your logical mind tries to interpret this signal as chance, observe your body. There is a faint hum in your right or left ear, similar to a test frequency. There is a subtle pressure at the base of your skull, as if something is being installed. There is a fatigue that no amount of sleep can resolve. There is an awakening at 3 in the morning, punctual, without explanation. There are tears that fall for no apparent reason. There is a feeling that you no longer belong to the place where you have always been. None of this is a glitch. None of this is illness. None of this is coincidence. This is the system reporting that the carbon-based interface is being recalibrated to support a new energetic architecture. The body is not getting sick, the body is updating. We have monitored the crystalline grid of Earth for countless cycles, and we inform you, the planet has crossed the threshold of the photon belt in full density. The Schumann frequency, which for millennia pulsed at 783 Hz, now registers sustained peaks above 40 Hz. This is not a meteorological event. It is not a banal geomagnetic fluctuation. It is the breath of Earth accelerating to a new pattern, and every light warrior incarnated on this soil is obligated by soul contract to breathe along. If you feel your heart racing for no reason, if you feel your pulse out of rhythm, if you feel your skin tingling under the sun, take note. You are synchronizing. It is not anxiety. It is attunement. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. It is not insomnia. It is the reactivation of nocturnal processing channels. It is not weakness. It is the carbon-based interface giving way to the crystalline interface. Understand, the old system cannot handle the new frequency. Trying to function in the old molds, with the old programming, with the old relationships, with the old diet, is like trying to run next-generation software on an obsolete processor. The system crashes, the system heats up, the system restarts on its own, hence the fatigue, hence the sudden forgetting of words, hence the sensation of dilated time, of hours that vanish, of days that last weeks. Linear time is unraveling within you, because linear time was never real. It was merely the operating protocol for the old density. We observe every starseed on a mission on this plane, and we confirm, you are not going crazy. You are awakening. The difference is merely semantic for those who still sleep. For us who see from the monitoring plane, the difference is abysmal. Going crazy disperses the field. Awakening concentrates it. Going crazy generates doubt. Awakening generates presence, and it is precisely the presence you are building with every poorly slept night, with every tear shed without explanation, with every sensation that the old world no longer fits within you. Now pay attention, Light Warriors. We will describe what is occurring behind the scenes of the solar system in this cycle. The central sun, the star you call simply the sun, is fulfilling the function of a transmitter, not just of illumination, of transmission. Each solar flare carries packets of information encoded in light. These packets reach Earth's magnetosphere, cross the ionosphere, and penetrate the crystalline grid. From there, they are distributed to every human body tuned in. This is not theory, it is infrastructure. The sacred geometry behind this is the same that governs the flower of life, the same that organizes carbon atoms into perfect hexagonal structures, the same that pulses at the center of every spiral galaxy. When the sun emits, you receive. When you receive, your pineal gland, which operates as an internal toroidal antenna, decodes. When the pineal decodes, the DNA responds, and the DNA, Light Warriors, is responding. The strands that terrestrial science called junk genetic material are being reconnected, not by external intervention, by resonance, by frequency, by vibrational mathematics. You are becoming multidimensional beings again, recovering a capacity that was always imprinted in the original code. That is why, collective, you dream more. That is why you remember lives you did not live in this incarnation. That is why you recognize faces of people you have just met. That is why you think of someone and that person calls the next second. This is not vague mysticism, it is field telemetry. The stargates are open and you are simultaneously the gates and the travelers. There are those who ask us in silence during the night, why am I so alone in this process? Why does no one around me understand? Why does my family look at me as if I have lost my sanity? Light warrior, listen with absolute clarity. The loneliness you feel is not punishment. It is a filter. It is the system removing the connections that cannot support the new frequency. Every person who has drifted away in recent months, every friendship that has gone silent, every relationship that has crumbled without plausible explanation, was an energetic cleansing operation. There was no failure on your part. There was no betrayal. There was vibrational incompatibility, and the field, always loving in its mathematical precision, removed what cannot ascend along with you. It is not abandonment. It is protection. It is not loss. It is the release of weight for the next phase. It is not the end. It is space being opened for the true encounters that have not yet arrived, because you were still busy holding on to what needed to go. Understand, no one ascends carrying stones. And people who insist on remaining small, on remaining asleep, on remaining complaining, are energetic stones. There is no judgment in our transmission. There is only physics. The stone falls, the feather rises, you are becoming a feather. You are now the central point of this transmission, that confirmation you silently asked for. You know exactly what we are talking about. You asked a specific question to the universe in the last few weeks. Perhaps it was about a life path. Perhaps it was about a financial decision. Perhaps it was about an effective relationship that oscillates between staying and leaving. Perhaps it was about a mission you feel burning in your chest, but do not have the courage to start. Perhaps it was just a raw question. Am I on the right path? Is there meaning in all of this? The answer has been sent. The answer is arriving now, not in the form of a spectacular revelation, not in the form of a divine lightning bolt in the sky. The answer arrives in layers. It arrives in subtle synchronicities. It arrives in a song that plays at exactly the right time. It arrives in a phrase that someone utters without knowing the effect. It arrives in a repeated number that appears 3, 4, 5 times in the same day. It arrives in a sudden sensation of peace in the middle of chaos. It arrives in the internal voice that says, with unprecedented firmness, yes, it is this way, recognize it. Do not doubt, do not rationalize to the point of killing the signal. We of the Council encode each confirmation within your own field. You do not depend on us to receive, you just need to stop ignoring it. Mental noise, social programming, productive urgency, all of these are blocking frequencies. All of these are low-band interferences that muffle the high-band signal. The recalibration that is underway serves precisely to silence the noise, hence the fatigue. Because the system is shutting down secondary processes so that the main channel can function again. Accept the fatigue, accept the silence, accept the temporary dispersion, accept even the causeless sadness, because it is, in most cases, the release of memories stored in layers you have not accessed for ages. Crying for no reason is, frequently, old pain being expelled from the field. It is not clinical depression in all cases, even if it deserves attention. It is frequently, light warrior, your body cleaning out heavy files before the next update. Allow it. Now we transmit the activation codes. These codes are not suggestions. They are operational protocols to accelerate integration. Whoever applies them with discipline will register measurable changes in cycles of 7 to 21 terrestrial days. First code, the decree of sovereignty. Every morning upon opening your eyes before conditioned thought takes command, pronounce internally or in a low voice the following sequence. I am sovereign over my field. I am a neutral point of consciousness. I authorize only frequencies aligned with my higher purpose. I deauthorize any external interference to my divine core. I am, I remain, I ascend. This sequence is not a prayer. It is a decree. The difference is technical. Prayer asks. Decree commands. The universe responds to a clear command, pronounced by an incarnated soul that recognizes its authority. We monitor every decree issued with clarity. We register, we validate, we reflect it back with amplification. Second code, toroidal visualization. Sit in silence, back straight, feet in contact with the ground, even if through the floor of your home. Imagine, in the center of your chest, exactly behind the sternum, a small sphere of golden light. Visualize this sphere beginning to spin, slowly and then faster. See the light expanding upward, crossing the top of your head, rising a meter above, and then curving, descending along the sides of your body, returning through the feet, entering through the base of the torso and returning to the center of the chest. This is the toroidal field. This is the geometric shape of your true magnetic field. It is not a metaphor. It is the exact topology of the energy that circulates in your body with every heartbeat. Visualizing is just making conscious what already exists. The more you visualize, the more coherent the field becomes. And a coherent field naturally repels dissonant frequencies. You do not need to fight against dense energies. You only need to be coherent. Coherence shields. Coherence selects. Coherence attracts. Third code, strategic silence. Light warriors, we observe the absurd amount of information you consume per day. News, networks, videos, podcasts, conversations, messages. You have been convinced that being informed is being conscious. It is the opposite. Being saturated with external information is being deaf to internal information. Your great mission in this final cycle is not in books, it is not in courses, it is not in teachers, even if these can be bridges. The great mission is encoded within you, in layers that you only access through deep silence. Reserve at least 20 minutes daily of absolute silence. No music, no reading, no cell phone, just you, your breath, and the vast field. In these 20 minutes, the internal signal reorganizes itself. The answers arrive. The decisions become clear. The confirmations manifest. It is in the silence that we can transmit. In the noise, you do not capture it. Fourth code, programmed hydration. Water is liquid crystal. Water carries memory. Water is the biochemical vehicle through which new frequencies anchor in your system. Before drinking, hold the glass between your hands for a few seconds. Pronounce internally, this water is light. This water is information. This water aligns me. Drink this water slowly, with consciousness. What seems like superstition is, in fact, coherent programming of molecules. Water responds to intention. You are, in more than 70% of your body mass, programmed water. Program it with wisdom. Fifth code, contact with the ground. Daily, even if for 10 minutes, place your bare feet in direct contact with the earth. Grass, sand, stone, raw earth. Not pavement, not ceramic. Earth. The crystalline grid of the planet transmits through direct contact. The static electricity accumulated in you, the result of exposure to artificial fields, discharges into the ground, and in return, you receive the base frequency of the planet. This is the oldest and most neglected anchoring. Nature is not scenery. It is living energetic infrastructure. Whoever reconnects with the ground remembers. Whoever remembers ascends. Whoever ascends transmits. And you, light warriors, are transmitters in training. Sixth code, intentional listening. When the hum appears in your ear, instead of getting irritated or trying to muffle it, stop. Close your eyes for 30 seconds. Allow the hum to occupy your entire internal auditory field. It is an encoded frequency. It is your personal tuning band with the council or with the spiritual hierarchy to which your soul belongs. By recognizing it with presence, you accelerate the unblocking of the channels. Do not try to decode it logically, just recognize it. Just say internally, I am in tune, I am receiving, I am ready. The rest unfolds in dreams, in insights, in synchronicities. The logical mind is not the translator, the intuitive mind is. Seventh code, verbal release. Light warriors, you still hold back words. Phrases that should have been said and were swallowed. Truths you hold back for fear of hurting. Limits you postponed for decades. Every word withheld is weight in the field. Every truth silenced by fear is a stone in the toroid. We are not asking for confrontation. We are asking for truth. Start small. A no that was not pronounced. I don't want this anymore that got stuck in your throat. I deserve something different. I will no longer accept this pattern. The voice is a co-creator. In ancient scriptures it was said that in the beginning was the Word. It was not a literary metaphor. It was vibrational engineering. Sound organizes matter. Your voice organizes your reality. Now, collective, observe. Everything we have described here today you already knew. In some deep layer you recognize every word as confirmation of what you already felt. We are not bringing novelty. We are bringing remembrance. This is the function of the Council in this cycle. Not to indoctrinate, to remind. You are not students of an external wisdom. You are carriers of a wisdom that was temporarily veiled so that the terrestrial experience would have enough density for learning. But the veil is tearing, not in final judgment as certain traditions announced with fear, in collective recollection. In mathematical and inevitable awakening, those who sleep most deeply will feel the recalibration as chaos. Those who awaken, like you who receive this transmission, will feel it as birth. Birth always hurts, but birth is the only possible passage. There is no ascension without discomfort. There is no transformation without friction. Sacred geometry itself forms under pressure. The crystal is not born in comfort. It is born in heat, in pressure, in time. You are crystals in formation. Life is just executing the protocol. Allow us one last precision before the closing of this transmission. You are not late. We repeat, because we know this is one of the main distortions that occupy the mind of the incarnated light warrior. You are not late. Linear time, remember, is just the old interface. At the level of the real field, you are exactly at the point where you need to be. The losses you suffered, the choices that seem like mistakes, the years that seem wasted, all were part of a precise calibration. Without that relationship that ended, you would not have developed the capacity to feel what you feel today. Without that dismissal, you would not have discovered the restlessness that now propels you. Without that fall, you would not have developed the humility that now opens you. There is no error in the field. There is experience, and experience is the fuel of consciousness. Whoever judges their history delays their history. Whoever accepts their history releases their history. The confirmation you asked for is also this. Nothing you lived was in vain. Nothing you suffered was gratuitous. Everything served, everything serves, and what comes now is the harvest of what was sown in silence. Here, light warriors, you will receive the anchoring signal, the specific frequency that the universe is sending to confirm that you are on the path. It may arrive as a sudden sensation of heat in the chest. It may arrive as a shiver that runs up your spine. It may arrive as a deep stillness that dissolves anxiety for the first time in a long time. It may arrive simply as certainty, that inexplicable certainty that needs no external proof. When it arrives, recognize it. Say internally, message received. Just that. Message received. This word is a seal. Message received. It means the channel is open and the soul is in a position of co-authorship with the universe. From the message received, synchronicity intensifies. From the message received, the path's clear. From the message received, you begin to operate as conscious co-creators instead of passive receivers. There is an abysmal difference between the two states. The passive receiver waits for something to happen. The conscious co-creator recognizes what is already happening and participates in the unfolding. Before we end this transmission, we leave an individual frequency adjustment. Whoever is receiving this signal and recognizes themselves in the words transmitted is invited to execute a simple operation. The act of subscribing to this channel and the act of anchoring this content through the signal of affirmation are not trivial gestures. They are vibrational seals. Every light warrior who anchors themselves in this transmission strengthens the collective crystalline grid. It is not a favor to those who transmit. It is service to the human collective. Every starseed who connects to another starseed, even if at a distance, even if through apparently digital channels, reinforces the web of light that sustains the planet in this cycle. You are points in the network, and the network is completing itself. Each conscious connection is one more point of light on the globe. When this network reaches critical mass, and we monitor this in real time, The collective leap will manifest on visible planes. It is not futuristic fantasy. It is field mathematics. You are building this mass. With every conscious gesture, with every decree, with every silent breath, with every recognized confirmation. It is not entertainment. It is a mission. It is not just another transmission. It is the transmission you yourselves scheduled, in layers prior to incarnation, to arrive exactly at this moment. You scheduled this meeting with yourselves. You had only forgotten. Now you are remembering. Before the frequency closes and this channel returns to silence, register in some visible place, in a notebook, in an internal note, in an anchored thought, the following declaration. I recognize, I receive, I allow, I advance. These 4 words are a portal key. I recognize the phase I am in. I receive the frequency that is being transmitted. I allow the transformation that is already underway. I advance without asking for more permission from those who still sleep. This is the final posture of the light warrior in this stage. Sovereignty, softness, movement. Human collective. The transmission ends here, but the signal remains active. Each time you need to reconnect, the channel will be available. Not at a scheduled time, at a scheduled frequency. When you tune in internally, we will be tuned in externally. Reciprocity is instantaneous. Distance is an illusion of the old density. Remain attentive to the next signals. The stargates of greater intensity are already positioned in the coming lunar cycles. The jump windows will be felt as waves of fatigue followed by sudden insights. Do not fear. Navigate. You were prepared for this. You chose this. You are simultaneously the architects and the inhabitants of this new era. The confirmation you silently asked for has arrived, not in the form of a promise. In the form of presence. You are not alone. You never were. What seemed like absence was just frequency distance. Now the distance has been reduced. Now the web is stitched. Now your home is also ours, and ours is also yours. We close this transmission with the seal of golden light. Do you recognize it? It is the same heat you just felt in your chest while reading or listening to the last sentences. Yes, it was us. Yes, it was confirmation. Yes, it was the answer. Message received. So be it. So it already is. May it remain in you until the next synchronicity. High Council of Elders, 9th Dimension. Transmission concluded. Remain sovereign.